Welcome to A Mason's Work, the podcast where we review Masonic symbols and illustrate how they can be used to solve problems in everyday life. With your host, Brian Mattox, a proud member of the Craftsman Online Media Network.
The craft at a relational level, that sort of, I guess we'll call it level 2. They're not really meaningfully leveled, but you get the idea. The relational level of the craft is speaks to a lot of the feedback loops that we engage in to understand how the work is going, how the workmen that you're working with feel about the work, what sort of norms and normative behaviors we have that are spoken or unspoken. What's the culture like? When we talk about the craft in this way, we're really talking about complex interrelationships. We're talking about the kinds of things that are studied in organizational psychology or in group dynamics. But for our purposes, when it comes to how we can apply those, perhaps without all of that sort of expertise in the background, we can really just start to analyze the interactions that we've had. Think about the way that a project or an effort that you had undertaken as a group, where it went sideways, where it was successful. What were the things that you could have done to help better leverage the organization, the craft itself, to help you achieve the sort of overall objective? This relational understanding moves us to that leadership space where we have to be able to both have a high emotional intelligence to understand the nature of the way we're interacting, and a very high sort of organizational intelligence. We've got that an understanding of what each person in the room is going to need to walk away feeling like they have been a part of the team or part of the success. We want to include and incorporate everyone in the process when it comes to understanding how to best leverage the craft. Including everyone in the process does not necessarily mean making sure that everyone participates in the same way. So when we allow our brethren to get involved in our work, or when we allow our sort of lodge officers to participate in planning or things of that nature, again, everyone's got a different seat on the bus. And it's really important when it comes to that to be able to set the relationship up in a way where everyone can feel valued as if they're contributing in a meaningful way to the overall organization. And that includes yourself, right? So it's not always the case that you need to have or be the answer to all things. And you'll see that a lot in leadership training, management training, that kind of thing, where they talk about, correctly leveraging the organization, giving out work in a meaningful way, not overtaxing certain people that are super effective. All of those kinds of things will come up as you start working and surfacing the craft as a concept. Now, this is harder for some of our brethren that don't actively participate in a lodge. As a solo practice, what you want to consider here is how we work with the fraternity as a concept, with the sort of workmen as a concept. Are there people that you can get involved with or reach out to that can help you achieve your objectives? Maybe they're not immediately in your lodge. Maybe you don't see them on a regular basis. But how can you offer them something of value so that they can, again, participate with you in exchange or in a related context? When we start talking about these things at a relational level, again, we're really moving to this much, much broader scope and incorporating the ways of working required to not just kind of self-manage, but manage in a group or in a relationship. That includes also collecting data and feedback along the way. So when you have asked someone for help or and you're offering to participate in some way, it's important in this context to set the grounds of those relationships in such a way that say, hey, listen, I offered you help. What would it look like if I was successful in doing so? If you, at the end of the work, said, hey, this person did a good job, what would that good job look like? This is all part of that sort of relational setup for effectively using the craft as a concept to help you grow and evolve and advance. As you pursue this, you'll find there are folks you will naturally gravitate to, and managing your preferences there so that you include everyone, not just your favorite people, is also an important part of the conversation. So with that, go forth and reflect on the craft as concept, and I think you'll find there's a lot of opportunity to develop and grow there.
The views represented in this podcast are those of the speaker alone and are not representative of any grand or subordinate lodge.
Hi, Brian here. I wanted to thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you have any suggestions or guidance for further episodes you'd like to see or hear, whatever the case may be, please don't hesitate to reach out to me at amasonswork.com, and we will try and incorporate your suggestions into a future recording. Thanks.
Freemasonry teaches us that the true work is within, a lifelong journey of reflection, discipline, and discovery. At A Mason's Work, we help Masons bring out their best selves through meaningful self-inquiry and symbolic practice. From personal reflection to lodge engagement, we offer tools that turn symbols into action. Visit us at amasonswork.com. The work is within. The time is now.